Underdog Fantasy is the fastest-growing fantasy app and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Just jump on UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app, draft your team, and that's it. And if drafts aren't your thing, they also have a pick'em game where you can win 20 times your money in a single night. Use promo code RADIO, and Underdog will double your first deposit when you sign up with up to $100 in bonus cash. Deposit $100, get $100 free. That's promo code RADIO. Terms and conditions apply.
The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
This is John Silver, lead recruiter of the Dark Order, and you are listening to All Things Elite.
Welcome to the 151st episode of Social Suplex's podcast about AEW with a proclivity for positivity. Welcome to All Things Elite. My name is Austin Somewhat's, and I am the host of this lovely show. Joining with me, as always, is my good buddy and friend, Floyd Johnson Jr. My man, how are you doing?
I am doing great. We got the NFL schedule released yesterday. Got a list of victims for my Kansas City Chiefs. My friend Dave is coming to visit me from New York tonight. That's going to be fun. Going to watch my first Major League Baseball game this weekend. I'm just in an all-around good mood. And, hey, you're going to be in Vegas in 2 weeks. We're going to see each other, right?
I am.
Yeah.
Absolutely we are. Yeah, absolutely we are. We got Vegas in a couple of weeks, which is so exciting. I actually have a bit of a fun story to share before we start things off. So if I don't know if anybody who listens to this show, because I know we have a few figure collectors that might be listening, like AEW figures that like they collect the figures or other wrestling figures that they like to collect. I recently came into a little bit of I got a paycheck coming a few weeks ago, and I decided, you know what I want? I decided to go to my local Walmart and Meijer to see if how trading cards were looking, because I heard that like since the pandemic and everything, it's actually easier to find trading cards than before, where they were literally you couldn't find them on shelves. And I found WWE Prisms, which are like the new WWE trading card pack and stuff. That's like the new series that basically came out. They do them with baseball cards and football, and they've even got some with UFC at this point right now. So I grabbed a few of those and ended up pulling a green Pulsar Becky Lynch, which was numbered 16 of 25. Now, I'm not much of a collector for trading cards, but I saw this and I was like, this is a very different thing that I am not used to. And I don't list cards on eBay or anything like that. It's not a thing that I've done before, but I was like, you know what? For shits and giggles, because Becky's literally on the box of these cards, I was like, let me list it, see what happens. So I listed it at like 3 or something in the morning. I was up really late that night. Less than 20 minutes after it was up, somebody got in contact with me asking for an offer. And the first offer they made was $100. And I was like, what? And eventually I actually ended up selling it for $160 after asking for $200. So I sold a trading card for $160, and I was like, what the fuck? I just could not believe that those cards were so sought after that someone was willing to spend that much to get it. I shipped it off like a day ago, so that card is off to that person. But like, I came into some extra money from that, so I bought me a couple pair of Jordans. And I got the Jordan 9 Chili Reds, And then I got the new Jordan 6s. I think they're Midnight Navies are what they're called. Those are on their way tomorrow. I've got the chili reds right behind me, actually. So I had a really interesting week, actually. And it was all because of a goddamn green, sparkly Becky Lynch card.
Yes, that's awesome, man. It's like playing a scratcher and winning some money. Hopefully you can carry that luck to Vegas. Go to slot machine,
right? Yeah, literally.
Pool right there, Yeah, I told my friend.
I'm hoping to at least do solid at blackjack.
Yeah, I told my friend, I was like, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to pull the slot machine, win 10 grand, and then immediately buy a ticket to come back for Money in the Bank. Because I really want to go to Money in the Bank. It's not in the financial aspects. I know you're not used to hearing that from me. I get it. But it's not in my financial outlook to make it back to Vegas for Money in the Bank. But I would really like to be there because I just got a feeling. I feel like a blonde-haired grandson of a plumber might be pulling down that briefcase. I just feel it in my gut. You know what I mean?
I would like to see that. I think that would be very cool.
I would like to point out to all the people, the trolls that say Cody would be buried by now, that Hell in a Cell poster came out, and this is this is not a WWE show, so this will be the last I say of it. Hell in a Cell poster came out. There's only one person on it. One person. It ain't the head of the table. It's not the tribal chief. It's not God Mode himself. It's the aforementioned grandson of a plumber, Cody Rhodes. He's the whole poster. The whole thing. Poster. Yeah, just imagine. If you imagine, that poster will be coming to Floyd's house at some point. Nah, I will be purchasing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very, very cool moment. I'm sure for Cody fans to see him be the only person on that poster. Hopefully, like I said, his career in WWE continues to be great.
I mean, hey, I told people he's not stupid. I imagine most of this stuff is in writing. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
You can't leave it up to the whims of the old man. You have to be smart about it. But again, not a WWE show. Just happy for my favorite WWE wrestler.
Absolutely, as you should be. But we've got a lot to be talking about with this week's episode of All Things Elite. Of course, we're recording this actually Friday night, so we will have up-to-date Rampage news because we pushed it back a day. So we will have the results not only from Dynamite from this week, but also Rampage. And then we'll give a good little preview of the upcoming Dynamite. Before we get into everything, though, we want to make sure you guys are downloading this fine show on Google or Apple Podcasts. And if you listen to us on Spotify or any other podcasting platforms, please give us a share with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you wish. You can leave a rating and a review. And if you're so inclined, you can leave a donation through our podcast provider, Red Circle. But the easiest way to support us is by following us on social media. On Twitter, we are at AT Elite Pod. At Social Suplex are the guys that make this show possible. Please check out all the other shows they have on their network. I am at Austin Sumowitz, SZUMOWICZ, and Floyd is at Floyd Johnson Jr. on Twitter. And the big news of the week for AEW is the fact that we have begun both tournaments for the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. Both the men's and the women's tournaments began this week on Dynamite, and we also had another match take place in the tournament on Rampage, which we also got an update as well for one of the first round matches, which we'll get to when we get into Rampage. But this tournament has shown to be a massive thing that will most likely it's going to be capping off at Double or Nothing, which I'm very excited for because honestly, I love the tournaments that AEW puts on. I love wrestling tournaments in general. When they're done and they're really important, they are treated with importance. It's always just fun because you get to see matches that you don't normally get to see. And like, obviously the story is easy to understand. They want to move on in the tournament. They want to win whatever the tournament final prize is. So I've been enjoying the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. I am very excited to see who the hell the two jokers are, as my two cats currently just fly all over the place behind me right now. But I think so far since we've had everyone qualify, the field has been really interesting and very cool for both tournaments, in fact.
Yes, I love this. I've compared the Owen Cup to the New Japan Cup. That happens every year, I believe. Like it's like right after Wrestle Kingdom. It's like February, March. They do the New Japan Cup, and the winner gets a world title shot. And it just feels like this. It has that same energy. That this has that same type of New Japan Cup energy. Every match matters. The participants really, really want to win. There's some stuff that New Japan does that I'd like to see AEW do. They did New Japan does a press conference, and it has like all the people from the New Japan Cup, all the people from Best of Super Juniors, and the G1, and they kind of talk about wanting to win it. So I'd like to see that like done on like YouTube with personality profiles, and then you have you have the experts. You bring an expert. And it's having them break it down as in who they think's going to win and why they think they're going to win. And just like, almost treat it like the March Madness thing. And then I'd like to see, like, you do the first round. Like, I would like to see the whole first round done this week and then the second round done next week, like all at the same time. So at the end on Friday, you can have a breakdown of everything that happened in the first round and look at the matchups going towards the second round. You get what I mean? Just really just build up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very simple to understand.
Yeah, so
it's very simple to understand and very easy to get it built up.
Yeah, and you just building up each round. You bring in like Medusa, and she's breaking down all the women. So veterans. Bret Hart maybe do it for the men. Medusa does it for the women. Break down who they think's going to win, why, that kind of thing. So I mean, I do love the tournament all the time. I just feel like, in a way, they could have made it just like a little bigger.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And I think no one does a tournament like New Japan at this point. Like they do tournaments like on a completely other level.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just like, and I'm basically just saying steal from New Japan. That's what I'm saying in essence. That's like steal what New Japan. You're
collabing with them already. Might as well just steal one of their things that they do really well.
Yeah, and and if you wanted to have a couple New Japan now again, the New Japan thing with the Forbidden Door, first time it's happening is in June. Now I'm just saying next year, if you want to have a couple New Japan people in the actual tournament, I'm not talking about like in the qualifying matches, but like in the tournament, I think that'll add to it too. And I am big on next year being a 16-person tournament.
I'd imagine so. I mean, like we've already had talks with Tony Khan already saying that like the belts are like already either made or in progress of being made for the trios belts.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, like I'm expecting a lot of trios matches, especially with all the groups that we have. I'm expecting a lot in the upcoming months in AEW.
Yeah, we're definitely building up a couple trios, big trios matches. I think like a trios match is going to be one of the big main matches at Double or Nothing. So, well, we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I'm very excited about the Owen Hart Cup. I love how they profiled one of my favorite wrestlers, Dax Harwood, a lot when it comes to it and how much it means to him. So, yeah. So, let me tell you, I got to give a shout-out to TK. They did a great job. Great job of making me think he might win this thing. They did a great job.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And again, apologies if you hear running around. My cats are going bonkers playing around back behind me. But speaking of Dax Harwood, though, we'll get right into the Dynamite in taking place in the supposed most magical place in the world, Long Island, New York. We opened up with the first round with the first round quarterfinals match between Adam Cole and Dax Harwood. Mrs. Martha Hart was up in the rafters watching the show and watching these matches, and there was so much great reasonable doubt they were giving you of like Dax getting the upset win over Adam Cole and moving forward in this tournament that he cares so much on. But unfortunately, despite that, Dax had some damaged ribs during the match, and unfortunately that was not able to it was something that Adam Cole would target significantly, especially with the use of the sharpshooter. When Dax got the sharpshooter on, massive pop. When Adam Cole put on the sharpshooter, the heel heat was outstanding. Which again, it's genuinely like incredible, the fact that Adam Cole is like beloved, like so beloved. Like not only just from like, from watching his Twitch streams as Chugs that this dude is just one of the nicest guys that AEW seems to have on their roster. But not only that, like his entrance and his whole like presentation is like wrestling fans love it. But at the same time, he does such good heel shit. Despite the fact that he's mega over with the fans. So the use of the sharpshooter and the fact that he won with it was unbelievably great. It's such great heel work by Adam Cole. This match was an awesome start. They did great. If you need any proof of how much this meant to Dax and how much fans really like took to Dax in this tournament and just in these past few couple months, after the match was over and after AEW, I believe they were either off the air or in the middle of doing an interview afterwards. Dax got a standing ovation after the match was over. He responded to it on Twitter, doing a little bit of a Twitter promo, and seeing the fans in Long Island give him a standing ovation after that match was genuinely really cool to see. And I'm sure Floyd can go into even more detail about this. Also, we now know he has his masturbatory Bret Hart socks, as he's tweeted that out, which can mean many things.
Yes, no, he does. He does. He does love him some Bret Hart, dude. He has a life-size standee of Bret Hart in his bar area. I'm like, dude, there's nobody, like, no one loves Bret Hart as much as this man does, and I love that. And this match was great. It told a great story. They were pretty even to begin with. Dax might even been a little ahead, but, the whole match turned on when Adam Cole threw Dax under the ropes and his ribs hit the turnbuckle, and even Dax, he had him in the sharpshooter. But on the sharpshooter, if wrestling storyline, you got to use your ribs to pull back on it. So he was using his ribs to pull back on it, and he collapsed out of the move, and he lost the move. And then Adam Cole, being the tremendous dick that he is, he's so good at it, puts on the sharpshooter, aka because Dax was giving Cole crap because he said his hero was Shawn Michaels, and he's like, your heroes are questionable. And what did he do? He gave him the Montreal finish when Shawn put Bret in the sharpshooter. But this time, Dax, because of the very injured ribs, had to, unfortunately, he got to the ropes, he got pulled out, and he had to tap out. And, it is funny, he had a great promo earlier in the week, just the internet promo. It wasn't even like an AEW promo where he says it was about going to failure but not failing. And he said, if I happen to fail in this match, I'm going to go to failure, but I'm not failing. He went to failure. He absolutely couldn't take it anymore. So that told the story of the match. Long Island, I am trying. I am the worst at it. I suck at social media, but I am trying to tweet more from the All Things Elite account. So I did try to tweet it, and I added Long Island to my bucket list of shows that I had to see. AEW in Long Island with all the Long Island people there. They just seem to be this hot crowd, and of course MJF is there, and we'll talk about that later. So because of this respect shown to my boy Dax Harwood, LI has jumped way higher on my list of places. It is definitely on my wrestling bucket list. And by saying that, people say wrestling bucket list, and they're like, well, one day. No, not one day. In 2023, the show in 2023, when AEW is in Long Island, your boy Floyd will be on Long Island seeing that show, because they have a killer fan base. I just think it's electric. I think AEW has some places that the crowds seem to be extra great, and Long Island's one of them. Dallas is one of them. Chicago, anywhere in the Chicago area is one of them. I'm hoping to add Detroit to it next month, but they just have this. They have these areas that are just seem extra lit for their shows, and Long Island is definitely one of them. So, and I just love how much CM Punk hates Long Island. That's amazing. So, yeah, that was a great match. Did what it needed to do. I said last week that it wouldn't make sense for Dax Harwood to win, and I stand by that. I understand for the moment, for the emotion, all that. And if Dax Harwood had drew anyone else in the other 7, anyone else in that first round of the tournament, I would have believed that he would win. But he literally pulled one of the most pushed single superstars in AEW. I just didn't think it was going to happen, and unfortunately, I was right. I didn't. If there's ever been a time that I wanted to be wrong, this was the time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And no, Long Island is one of those cities. Again, like after the match where they gave Dax a standing ovation, I still think that was just really, really cool. However, this crowd, despite the fact that they're the MJF crowd, can't even boo CM Punk properly. They just can't do it, which will move us into the next match, CM Punk versus the Meat Man himself, John Silver of the Dark Order, with Hangman Adam Page on commentary of this match. Punk comes out with an Islanders jersey of John Tavares, who is not an Islander anymore, and Islander fans don't seem to like John Tavares that much anymore. I can't put my finger on as to why that is. If you're a hockey fan, I'm sure you're very much aware of it, but I won't go into detail. There's a bit too much backstory on that, I feel. But he cut off Cult of Personality as well, said it's clobbering time, and then walked to the ring without Cult of Personality, which was great. Again, they couldn't even necessarily boo him, right? Because he got a massive pop when he came out, and like they were booing him, but like they weren't booing him. Like I know what booing somebody like heavily is, and that wasn't it. So, Punk, though John Silver did get a great reaction, which was awesome. It was great to see. John Silver got a ton of really cool offense in here, and seeing how he works so fast and he works so quick against Punk, and it was really, really, really good. But despite that, Punk, while looking at Hangman off at commentary at one point, wins the match with the buckshot lariat on John Silver. Furious Hangman comes running down to the ring, and Punk's response was, "Are you mad? Like, are you mad?" It's like, listen, I don't know why these people don't like me, but when it comes to you and when it comes to them and that title, it's not personal. It's just business, because it seems like you were taking it a little bit personal. And he used to wake up every morning and ask himself in the mirror, "Are you a good guy?" This morning he woke up and asked, "Are you the champ?" And my answer was yes. And he said that after Double or Nothing, he wasn't going to shake his hand. Hangman was going to embarrass him. And he said, "At Double or Nothing, you will shake my hand whether you're conscious or unconscious." And he just stuck his hand back out, and Hangman flips him off and runs off like a fucking cowboy coward, as he is. Oh, you can't go on the mic with CM Punk.
Oh, punk-ass Page, which is what I'll call him from now on. Because Punk's going to get in that ass at Double or Nothing, and Hangman's also punk-ass. Yeah, so this match was really good. John Silver gave CM Punk a way better match than Hangman ever will. Shout out to Pepsi, the official drink of All Things Elite.
He spilled my diet soda.
Yes, shout out to Pepsi. When I looked at this match, I thought it was really good. CM Punk, he did it on purpose. He wore Islanders jersey. They thought he was. He thought they were giving like an olive branch. He thought he was saying it, and then they realized what Islanders jersey it was, and that was just like a big old middle finger. It would be like basically going to Detroit with a Matt Stafford jersey on. Yeah,
I don't think so. Honestly, Detroit fans would still be like, "Yeah, Stafford," because Detroit fans will cling on to what bit of success that we can get, because at this point we don't have a lot. Look at the Tigers for
excuse me. In the height of Cleveland, it would have been like rolling in there with a LeBron James jersey on after he had.
Oh yeah, after he went to Miami, it would have literally been like that.
Yeah, that's what it would have been.
Or going into Boston with a Kyrie Irving jersey.
Absolutely. See, there you go. You get it. And that's the whole thing. All they saw was the front of the jersey at first. And they were like, "Oh, okay, he likes us." Then they saw the back of the jersey. That's why he got the initial pop. It's because they saw the front of the jersey. Hey, our guy.
But even though that was the whole idea, though, is that they were like, they booed him last time he was there. Well, booed him, but like they couldn't even do that right. Like again, Chicago was way louder.
No, dude, Long Island, love it. I just pray for that time where it's CM Punk versus MJF in Long Island for the AEW title. God, that would just be great. They're talking about alternate cities. Tony Khan did something today. I was going to talk about the end of the show. Might as well talk about now about maybe doing an alternate city for All Out. I would throw a vote in there for Long Island.
I'm sure that would be one that could be up there. I'm sure they've gone there at least twice now. So.
I'm just like how hot they are. It's just a very hot crowd, and that's what you want for All Out. It's a good sized arena too. The UBS arena, it's a good sized arena too. Yeah, it's a good sized arena, and they had a lot of people there. So, and we found out, and this neither here nor there, but on the Long Island, AEW outsells the other wrestling company like by a lot. Same arena or whatever. It's just like shows around the same type, like Raw versus Dynamite or pay-per-view versus pay-per-view or whatever. They outsell them, and that's just kind of crazy being as young as the company that they are. But you saw it in the show. There's a magic, there's an energy to Long Island, and I'm not just sitting here trying to put Long Island over, but I was just like, dude, I'm watching this show, and I was like, okay, I have to go see a show there. But Punk did his business. The buckshot lariat was perfect. The condescending, Punk's really good at being the condescending dick. Like, why are you mad? Well, of course, I'm coming to take your title. Why are you mad? But
I just took out your boy.
Yeah, but the millennial man's about to beat up the cowboy in a few weeks in Dallas. I mean, in Las Vegas, and next time, maybe we can find a spot on Dark for Hangman.
Yeah, I'm sure we could find at least one. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a rough stretch, but we can find something. But moving on, we had the AEW in-ring debut of very nice, very evil Danhausen against the premier athlete Tony Nese. Fans were so hoping and ready to see Danhausen, and immediately Danhausen tries to curse Tony Nese. He gets hit with a running knee, and he gets pinned in like 25 seconds.
Again.
And Danhausen is 0-1 in AEW. And Smart Mark Sterling's like, are you shocked? I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, Tony, this guy got an entrance, and you didn't.
Dude, let me tell you about victory laps for your old boy Floyd. When everybody was going crazy about Danhausen being signed, and they're like, oh my God, and like, he's a comedy act that never wins. It does not show you. This is exactly what I said he was. I saw him on ROH for a year, and the whole gimmick was that he had went a year without winning a match. This dude is funny. Yeah. He's on Double or Nothing in the pre-show. It's not like...
Yeah,
he has.
It's not like that they're gonna push him to like the main title spot again. It's another. They gave Orange Cassidy a lot of a push, and I think people were thinking he was gonna get a push to the level of Orange Cassidy where he was wrestling Chris Jericho and stuff like that and winning.
Yeah, and I'm not stealing this point from Joe Lanza from Voice of Wrestling. I do agree with it, and I was saying something similar. But look at Tony Nese. That dude had been in matches before, and no one cared. It was like, I'm not saying he didn't have any fans. It was just like, they were like, oh, you're a good wrestler, and they didn't care. In 20 seconds, Tony Nese is now over as a heel.
And also, again, having Mark Sterling helps as well.
He's in Long Island, and he's getting booed. It's his hometown, and he's getting booed. Why? Because he beat up Danhausen, and that's not allowed. And then Hook, after Danhausen's getting attacked after the match. Oh, my God, this dude. I mean, good Lord. And they're doing it right. they are doing a simmer. He's not just, running through the whole company. And this is just, what they're doing with Hook is perfect right now because
Hook has had such great production behind him and great protection, and just the way that they've handled him has been outstanding. I have been in awe with how good this dude has looked. Like, considering the fact that we saw him on TV for like almost a year, where like the only match he had was the freaking cinematic match with Darby Allin and Sting.
And
like, that was the only match that we saw Hook even do anything in.
And CM
at that
Punk
point,
got him over with 2 words: send Hook.
As he does.
I'm just saying, you don't talk about it. It was like everybody kind of wanted to see Hook. Then Punk's like, I don't care, send Hook. That sign showed up the next week. Send Hook, and it's become this phenomenon. He's hot. And I love it. And now he's on the pay-per-view. And the team, everybody's dream team, Hookhausen, rides again.
Yes, as Danhausen extended his hand once again to Hook. And this time Hook accepts the handshake. And Hookhausen will be in the buy-in taking on Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling, who will be in ring. And they will be on the buy-in for Double or Nothing.
Yay. Love that.
I'm just so I am just so excited to see that Hook entrance live. Like, again, just when I hear Action Bronson going on in the crowd, like, I'm gonna be going fucking nuts.
Love that Danhausen. I'm just like, I just love his character. I love what he does. I watched the Ethan Page toy hunts and he's funny on there. This dude is just really good. So I really do. And I love what he does. And if you're looking at AEW, you are seeing there is a more defined level of where everyone is. And this show showed you where everyone is. Like CM Punk, there's the CM Punk, Hangman, Adam Page level, like the heavily pushed stars, then Danhausen, and then you got like Hook, and kind of is coming up. Wardlow's a little ahead of him, but they're both like over. But you know what? They don't have to beat everybody. So I really enjoy this show because it kind of it would have been a great show to watch. A first time watcher of AEW.
It really would. But we got to get into the next segment, which I know, Floyd, your tweet on this from the All Things Elite account, it blew up a bit. You tweeted big praise on the contract signing between MJF and Wardlow. And Wardlow, of course, comes out in handcuffs with tons of security and a literal Titantron that just says, "Boo Wardlow," as he's getting a great reaction from the Long Island crowd. And then we had MJF getting a Dark Side of the Ring vignette. And I'll let you go ahead and go over this.
Yes. So I have been an open hater of Dark Side of the Ring. But, oh, God, the production on this was amazing. Jericho, it comes off as a Dark Side of the Ring, and Jericho starts talking. To cover the fact that Jericho still hates MJF, he's like, this is for MJF? I'm not doing this for that jerk. Or whatever he said. He's like, how much is he paying me? Sure, I'll do it. Because Jericho is a sports entertainer, so he does it all for the money. Of course, so he goes on to talk about the match with MJF and CM Punk, where Wardlow basically turned on MJF and talked about calling him a pig. And then they brought in, I don't remember who all they brought in, but they brought in people. Taz was one of them, right?
Yeah, Taz was one. Yeah, he walked out of the interview.
Yes, and they all came in, and they were basically just burying Wardlow, saying how ungrateful of a person for all of MJF done for him. But they did it in perfect, like, Dark Side of the Ring production. It wasn't tongue in cheek. It wasn't everybody giggling. Everybody was talking like this was a real episode of Dark Side of the Ring. And that made it so much funnier. Dude, I was in stitches. This, I think 3 years, I've watched every show was probably the greatest produced Romo segment in Dynamite history. I don't think anything touches it. The Dark Order stuff was really good. The build up to Hangman winning the title was really good. Kenny Omega stuff was good, but this was like the funniest thing ever because
that was outstanding.
It was perfect. Oh my God. I'm like, yes. And it did. I was like, I wasn't expecting to get all the likes that I did on it. And it blew up a little bit. And I was like, dude, cool. I was like, cool. And this is why I mean, honestly, that's why I want to post more, because I want to, just get the show out there a bit more and let people know we exist. But yeah, it was so done. I was just laughing the whole time. I actually had to pause at the segment so I could actually watch the segment because I was laughing and I was missing the actual segment that was going on, which, of course, Wardlow's in the ring, gets brought in, handcuffed, and MJF playing up to Long Island like no one's business. I mean, he even says... Yeah. He's like, people up in the cheap seats, I want to hear you. You're poor, but I still love you. I was like, that's great. I'm gonna start
Such a great line.
I'm poor, but you're poor, but I still love you. It was, oh my God. Long Island's going to sell out from now on just because of the energy that they put into these shows, the detail. Oh my God. And then, of course, he sets out the terms for Wardlow to wrestle him, which has become a theme for MJF. But most importantly, all the things were what Cody had to go through. What Wardlow?
And he literally name dropped the fact that this was the same thing that he made Cody go through.
Yes. So, and it's funny because Wardlow was on MJF's side when he was putting Cody through this. So it really does go full circle. Well, now Wardlow's on the other side. Like, everybody's been screaming everything he's done to everybody else that he can do to you. He's actually doing it to Wardlow. He has to take the 1, no, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but Mr. Spears. And Mr. Spears shakes it up and goes, 10, and everyone.
Oh, he was so happy to oblige for that.
Yeah, everyone in the whole stadium yells 10. Sean Spears feeling over, and he's going to get 10 lashes from that. And then after he survives the 10 lashes, the next week, which will be live on the 3rd anniversary of Double or Nothing from Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay, it will be Wardlow versus Sean Spears in a steel cage.
Yeah. So how about that? First of all, I honestly really dig the fact that they made this a Double or Nothing match, because you would have thought that like the MJF and Wardlow match would be the Double or Nothing match, but we're gonna get Wardlow and Sean Spears in a cage on Double or Nothing, which I think is a great...
No, it's going to be on Dynamite, and then he's going to have to wrestle.
Oh, it is going to be on Dynamite. Okay,
on Dynamite, it's the 3rd anniversary.
Okay, I must have been confused.
No, because I said it was
when he said it.
Because I said it was the 3rd anniversary of Double or Nothing. So he's going to wrestle.
Yeah,
Wardlow's going to wrestle Spears on Dynamite, I believe, and then if he wins, it'll be MJF versus Wardlow at Double or Nothing, which is perfect.
Okay. Gotcha.
Cody, full on Cody treatment, and I love it. And it's amazing. There was a lot of subtle shout-outs to Cody. This was a more blatant shout-out. There was another subtle shout-out. But MJF is perfect. This seems like the perfect idea. There's been reports that MJF is not happy with his contract with AEW and might be looking to sign with WWE into 2024. My whole thing is, first of all, I will say this. MJF's not stupid.
Right.
If WWE comes with an offer into 2024 and AEW beats it, he's going to sign with AEW.
Well, yeah, he's already said he'll go where the money goes.
Exactly.
So like, he doesn't care. This dickhead has no loyalty. Yeah. Loyalty is not a thing that this man knows.
Yeah. And so this is 18 months away. So I don't even like. I'm mentioning it on the show because it's All Things Elite, and you got to go where the news.
And of course, he mentioned it in the promo about 2024.
But it's just like, it doesn't matter because, and of course he might not be happy with his contract, which is a thing, of course. But I think this is the fair thing when you deal with Tony Khan. Well, if he doesn't want you anymore, he'll keep you under contract, and he'll honor your contract, right? The other part of it is he expects the other people to honor their contract too. No, there's no raise.
That's how that goes. Yeah,
there's no raise.
It's a two-way street.
You signed for this much for this long. You'll work for this much for this long, and towards the end of the deal, we'll negotiate your contract. And we might come to terms, we might not. It's just the way it is. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's something that a lot of people aren't now. It's fair.
Yeah. It's just how business works. Yeah.
Both sides are going to honor the contract. It's fair. So,
Underdog Fantasy is the fastest growing fantasy app and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Just jump on UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app, draft your team, and that's it. And if drafts aren't your thing, they also have a pick'em game where you can win 20 times your money in a single night. Use promo code RADIO, and Underdog will double your first deposit when you sign up with up to $100 in bonus cash. Deposit $100, get $100 free. That's promo code RADIO. Terms and conditions apply.
Your plans? Today it's dinner with the parents at your spot.
We gotta come back here.
Now, their spot. Or you're on the edge of your seat at the game.
Come on, just one time.
And it's the one. Or maybe you're catching the next flight to...
Now boarding flight 1850.
Oh, that's you. The choice is yours. And when you're with Amex, it's not if it's going to happen, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it.
I think MJF should go for the bag. I feel like he should take everybody to the cleaners because I was pointing out today, I love the four pillars. I love the four pillars of AEW, how they all are positioned, written, and all that stuff. All of them were on this week's programming in one way or another. But the idea is, I think, if you look at the four pillars as free agents right now, the one that WWE is backing up the Brinks truck for is MJF. I don't.
Absolutely.
I don't think the other three. I think they would pay the other three, but they don't fit exactly what they're looking for. MJF is a sports entertainer. MJF is the Miz on steroids. You know what I mean? He's so good,
right?
At it. And I think they back up the Brinks truck to him. So he's going to be in an advantage to negotiate, and I think he should take advantage of that. And I mean, I love AEW, and I want him to finish his very long career there, but, you got to do what's best for you. Get the bag, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And, of course, this segment ended with Wardlow signing the contract, flipping the table after he got out of his handcuffs because MJF was stupid and was like, let him out of the handcuffs to sign the contract. And he flipped the table, demolished the security. Spears tried to stop him with a steel chair. That didn't go well at all. MJF tried to run away, and Wardlow ended up having him in his grasp until Mark Sterling jumped on Wardlow's back, and MJF could get away. But then Wardlow powerbombed Mark Sterling through the table, and they were just running away. So, this is a really, really great segment, honestly, and I am very excited for MJF and Wardlow at Double or Nothing. Apologies for my confusion, because when Floyd said on the third anniversary of Double or Nothing, I was like, oh, they put the steel cage match on Double or Nothing. I must have missed that. But no. So I am excited for both matches, though. I am very excited for that. But we'll move over now to the FTW title match between the champion Ricky Starks and AEW World Tag Team Champion Jungle Boy. Now, this match was very, very good. Actually, what ends up happening, the match itself, like them working together, these two guys are great. There's a bit of a issue I might have had a bit with the closing moments of this match. I like the finish of how Ricky Starks, who has had issues with Swerve Strickland, who came down here, Starks was going to use the FTW Championship. Swerve Strickland came down and pulled it away from him, and Ricky was upset about that, and the referee was trying to deal with Swerve on the outside. But because of that, Ricky was still able to get advantage on Jungle Boy, hitting Rochambeau while he was looking away at the distraction from Swerve, and Starks retained the FTW Championship. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus came down, and he proceeded to shoulder block pretty much Swerve walking down, and then they were yelling at each other, Christian, Luchasaurus, and Swerve and all them. Keith Lee comes out, gets by Swerve's side, and there's a standoff between the two as Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs are walking to the side, and then Jungle Boy's kind of just looking off and just like distraught. Christian kind of walks up behind him for a slight period, offers support. Looks like there was almost an idea that like Christian was going to be like so fed up with Jungle Boy's slight little slump in singles competition that he was going to possibly like knock some sense into him. Wasn't the case. There was also a bit of technical difficulties with the music because Keith Lee's music got cut off like just randomly, and they tried to bring it back. It didn't work. It was a little bit of an awkward like kind of finish because there was just a lot of staring at each other like at one point. I do like Jungle Boy just looking off, just really not in the right mindset. And then there was like the little slight possible tease of a Christian heel turn, from what I saw at least. I think the ending of that that match could have been done a lot better. It wasn't bad, but I did see a bit of awkwardness in it that I couldn't help but point out.
Oh, absolutely. It came off super, super, super awkward, like all the way awkward. It came off stupid faces, you know what I mean? It was clear that he was trying to help you, and he accidentally distracted the referee. He's literally telling the referee to turn around, and the referee's ignoring him. And it's just like, I mean,
yeah.
Like, yeah.
But I mean, again, I get it. Like Christian, seemingly, like I said, there's been maybe some slight hints that he might be departing from Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and possibly turning heel, which I'm kind of honestly for because Christian's a really good heel. But yeah, that's at least the reason as to why I thought that. He was kind of being a dick.
I can hear the promo in my head. I've taken a back seat from you, mentored you, and you keep losing. That kind of thing. And it's just like, no, I can definitely see it coming, especially whenever they do lose the tag team belts, because this seems like it was building up to a triple threat tag team match somehow. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, great. I thought this was, even though kind of clunky, great segment. I don't kind of know where the tag team titles are going, and I'm looking forward to where they're going.
Yeah. We then move over to the Jericho Appreciation Society victory speech, and they had a podium. Angelo Parker comes out and says, AEW Galaxy, welcome to our victory speech. And then Matt Menard, a.k.a. Daddy Magic, comes out and just talks about, what really gets me turned on or what really turns me on. I'm just like, stop, shut the fuck up. Stop that right now. Everyone was just like, we really don't want to know what the fuck that is. And he's like, I get to stand here and be a part of the greatest faction in the world, the JAS. And then Jericho talked about the hometown heroes in Long Island. He's like, I'm one of those because I was actually born down the road here, but I moved away pretty damn quickly because this place is a dump. He's like, you guys know it sucks, and if you got a problem with that, I'll throw a fireball in your face because I'm a wizard. Like, that line coming out of Chris Jericho's mouth is so stupid that I love it. Like, it's so stupid. Like, him just being like, because I'm a wizard. Like, such a dumb line, but I just can't help but, like, it's so dumb that I'm just like, you know what? Sure, call yourself a fucking wizard. At this point, I don't know what the hell else you could call yourself. You're just going to run down the alphabet of just everything that you can call yourself. They talked about how they beat up and systematically eliminated Santana and Ortiz and Eddie Kingston. They're like, stay at home, especially Eddie, because I burned your face. And then like, and besides, you need to be home and take care of your wife and make sure she's feeling better. And if she doesn't, just have her give me a call. And Jon Moxley's music plays, walking through the crowd, standing up for his friend Eddie Kingston. And Jericho was like, there's one of you and five of us. Get out of here. Bryan Danielson's music hits, and he comes out with Wheeler Yuta and William Regal. And he's like, still four on five. And then all of a sudden, Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz get in the ring. Now the JAS is outnumbered by the Blackpool Combat Club and Eddie, Santana, and Ortiz. And Eddie just fucking goes right after Chris Jericho and is just like choking him on the mat. And they all are beating up on each other. And then Jericho rolls out in the ring and gets fucking knocked by William Regal, which was, yes. Lord Regal himself gets a good shot on Chris Jericho. And the JAS retreats. And I'm very excited to see what comes out of this, because this is just, there's so many good wrestlers and good talent in this just group, just massive thing. And I just want to see what the fuck happens. But like, even though I'm not a massive fan of the JAS as a group necessarily, I don't love it, I don't hate it. I just think it's another thing to keep Jericho doing stuff on TV. And the whole going after sports entertainment thing is funny. I love Eddie. I love Santana and Ortiz. The Blackpool Combat Club is fucking great. So, like, I just love all these baby faces, and, like, Jericho's solid, and, like, I just want to see what the fuck these guys do. So I thought this was a pretty dang good segment.
This was a really good segment. I dug everything about it. I kept wondering who the two people they were going to bring in to help Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston, and then every guess was not as good as what it was. They brought out the Blackpool Combat Club, probably my favorite faction going on right now. It was kind of amazing, and I just like AEW does it again. That's all I can say. And William Regal even got physical, which I didn't think we'd see.
Yes,
and it was perfect. It was perfect. I mean, like, perfect. I have no notes.
All right. Well, we'll move over now to the Owen Hart women's tournament that took place, the quarterfinals match that took place in this show. Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm. These two girls beat the hell out of each other. I mean, like, this was one of the more physical singles matches that we've seen the girls do. I really like Toni Storm. And I think that she's going to continue to get better and better and get more established with the AEW fans. I know she's not necessarily there yet because, I mean, like, let's be fair with ourselves. Like, not a ton of people watched NXT UK, but, like, I think Tony's going to be really, really good. Jamie Hayter, honestly, is getting a good reaction from the crowd as well, too. So I think she's going to be another person who becomes a pretty good stable in the women's division. But these two girls did a really good match. The Storm Zero was a little bit rushed. I felt like her finisher was kind of rushed and like didn't get the full impact I felt like you could have gotten. They were moving really fast and really physical, but the Storm Zero wasn't hit as perfectly as it could have been. That's a bit of a nitpick, but like the match itself was good. Honestly, I like these two, and I think Tony moving on is the right move. And I'm interested to see what the match ends up playing out, because I'm pretty sure we're going to get Tony versus Britt, because even though I know the Joker is going to be whatever the surprise they decide to do with, Tony versus Britt, I think will be a really good match.
Absolutely, completely agree with that. This match was a solid match, really solid singles wrestling match. Might not have been as clean as in different parts. Especially the finish, I would like that to go over a little bit more smooth, but I've always been a fan of the Storm Zero as a finisher, and it ended well, so it was a good match.
Yeah. Well, let's move in now to the crazy-ass main event, the Owen Hart men's quarterfinal match, the second one of the day, and the main event was Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy, the past and legend of the I'm going to throw myself off of the highest shit possible versus the present of the I'm going to throw myself off the highest shit possible. And this match, in the middle of the show, they showed a promo and a video package building up to this match. Darby was just like, bro, the people want to see it, and they know what they want from us. Let's just make this no holds bar, anything goes. Like, let's do what he does. Like, you said it yourself, we're more stuntmen than we are wrestlers, so let's just go ahead and give the people what they want. And it's an anything goes match. And, like, these two, oh, my God. Like, we literally had the ladder set up in the middle of the ring, and Jeff Hardy sat on top of, like, 6 chairs. Like, he's just laid across this, like, almost table of chairs. And Darby jumps off, swantons off of it, and lands on Jeff. Fucking ow. Like, what a fucking spot. Darby then tried to do a coffin drop later onto the apron. He missed and lands. Like, it fucking hurts every time I see him do it. Jeff Hardy then tried to do a swanton bomb off the turnbuckle onto the ring steps. He missed and would crash and burn on that. And eventually, though, Darby would hit the coffin drop where the ladder was in the middle of the ring. But he got countered by as Jeff Hardy rolls him up and has him almost pinned under the ladder almost. And Jeff Hardy gets the win over Darby. So Jeff Hardy gets not necessarily the upset, I would feel like, because, again, Jeff is more established at doing these types of matches. But Jeff Hardy beats the established AEW guy, which honestly I don't think even matters because, again, Darby loves Jeff Hardy from what we've seen already. And I think they're just protecting Darby to do whatever the hell it is that he does, building up towards Double or Nothing.
They stole
Jeff
the Cody finish. They stole the Cody finish. Darby versus Cody, match 2. They stole the fucking Cody finish.
Yeah, borrowed.
No, they stole it. They stole it. They stole Cody's finish. I was disturbed. I was upset. I threw a piece of
furious.
paper. I threw a piece of paper across. I got on the internet and I started typing a mean message and I deleted it because I know no one cares. But they stole Cody's finish. But no, it was everything the match you thought it would be. I would love this match with a little heat behind it. I would love it.
Yeah, I honestly,
Darby.
Yeah.
But no, who would play the heel? I'm like, one of the most over faces of all time, Jeff Hardy, versus one of the most over faces of all time, Darby Allin. It's just, I don't know how it would work. But I would love a little heat behind this match.
We just knew this was a match that we didn't think we would ever see, and then we're just like, we're going to enjoy.
When Darby set up the tear chairs, did the dive from the top, and Jeff Hardy, quote unquote, caught him because he literally just kind of got in the way. I wouldn't call it a catch, and it was just like they hate their bodies. They hate their bodies, dude. Like, I will never complain about pain. I will just suck it up because I'll remember that Darby Allin did this and he doesn't do drugs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't do drugs. He's just going to live with the pain. And I'm just like, yeah. That's a thing that's a choice. I fully am behind his choice, but damn.
Very much damn. But that was AEW Dynamite. What a fucking way to close out the show, though, I will say. And Undisputed Elite also had to stare down with the Hardys after the match was over. I will point that out as well. But now, we'll move over now after we talked about Dynamite to AEW Rampage taking place on May 13th. And this was on early because of playoff hockey, I believe. And I will throw it to Floyd because I have not watched this show yet. So Floyd, if you may, I will comment on the ending thing because I have seen what happened to close the show and I do have a comment on it, but I will let you go through the Rampage for right now because, like I said, I have yet to see it because I was at work.
Yeah, it's going to be a very quick run through. Death Triangle versus Butcher and Blade and Mark Quinn. Death Triangle wins after an exciting about 10-minute match where they did all the stuff. They did like all the stuff. The end of the match came with Penta and Ray did the combination package pile driver, and then the Black Arrow from Pac to get the pin. After the match, the lights go out, they come on, and here is the House of Black. They kind of stared them down, and it looks like they're about to get it on, and then the lights go off, and then the House of Black are gone, playing mind games with the Death Triangle. They still haven't announced a match for when this 3-on-3 match is going to happen, but it is going to happen soon, I imagine. The next match, Shawn Spears versus Barry Boulder. Honestly, very much squash match. Shawn Spears, Barry Boulder gets on the ropes. Shawn Spears supports him, hits his Death Valley driver, then beats him with a chair afterwards. Very, quick. We get Mark Sterling and Tony Nese in a backstage interview. They're told that Mark Sterling and Tony Nese have to wrestle Danhausen and Hookhausen at Double or Nothing buy-in. Mark Sterling's like, I'm not a wrestler. I don't even have gear. This is not going to happen. Tony Nese says, I'm the premier athlete. I just beat Danhausen in 20 seconds. I can beat these guys 2-on-1. So that's what I'm going to do. And it was okay. But basically, Mark Sterling got in trouble for keep getting involved in matches. Part of his punishment was to have to wrestle in this tag match. Then we got Ruby Soho and Rio. I think if I said there was a match from this show that you should seek out, I'd say this one. It was a very physical, fast-paced match. The thing is, Rio, like, you get to the ending, and Rio just wouldn't quit. Ruby Soho just kept hitting her, and she just wouldn't stay down. Finally, Ruby hit the Sister Abigail. I don't know what they're calling it, but it's the Sister Abigail, and that finally kept Rio down for a 3. I think an upset, Ruby Soho beating Rio, because, Rio's former world champion, very much a pushed competitor in AEW, so I call that an upset. We then get a Gun Club and Acclaim segment where Billy Gunn is like, I have some history with factions, so we need to come up with a hand sign. And Austin's like, you know what? We came up with this thing. What we're going to do is take our 2 hands and then we're going to point down. He's like, nope. That will never get over. That's a horrible idea. And then Max and Bowens did the scissor thing, and he's like, that's perfect. And he's like, now we need a catchphrase. And they say, Austin's like, oops, we came up with a catchphrase on our own, no help from anywhere. What we're going to say is, you got 2 words? And he's like, no, that's so dumb. They'll never get over. And then Max said, hey, yo, listen. And he's like, oh, yeah, that works. So I feel like that's going to be a part of this gimmick, that everything the Gun Club says is going to be stuff that their dad used to do, and everything Max and Bowen says is going to be like super brilliant, because that just seems like that was going. It's a really funny segment, way funnier than I'm explaining it. I will say that. But just natural charisma and that kind of things, because Billy Gunn was like really into it. Like, then Jade and the Baddies came out for an interview, quote unquote interview. They're told Hikaru Shida got injured in the match the Philly street fight, and she won't be able to be in the tournament. And then they announced the replacement, and they said it was somebody Red Velvet was going to be very familiar with, and it ended up being her friend, more than a woman herself, Chris Statlander. Hikaru Shida came out and said today, a little controversy, or yesterday, I already had, this was 6 hours ago, first she put question what on the her being replaced, and she said, I already had 4 matches after the street fight, and I just finished the greatest fighting musical show, but I seem to have been injured. Japanese wrestling is nothing for them. I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry I couldn't be in the tournament too. So that's uncomfortable. Hikaru Shida does not seem to be injured, but she was written off for injury. Yeah, I want to know if this is a part of the storyline going forward, or if this is an actual beef. So, or maybe an actual beef that can be used to goes toward the storyline.
I believe the reason as to why was Justin Henry of Cultaholic told me that he believes that it was because of prior Japanese commitments that she had.
And she says,
and that was why she was written off. So again, like,
what? All right, now go ahead and say what you.
No, I was just saying that's the story that I've heard, at least right now.
Then an hour later, she said, "Glad from my heart that Chris is in the tournament now. I'm gonna try to enjoy sudden holidays in Japan because it has been a while before I had B positive. So she's just gonna enjoy her time off. So we got Chris Statlander versus Red Velvet in the Owen now. So that was just a little bit of controversy. this stuff's going to come up in the nature of professional wrestling. Then we had Scorpio Sky versus Kazarian. It looked like they were going to have a Scorpio told Dan Lambert and Ethan Page to stay in the back. It looks like Scorpio's going on a face run. So they shake hands before the match. They have it was like a really good wrestling match, face versus face wrestling match. At the end of the match, though, Kazarian's just a little bit better than Scorpio, and he gets him in a crossface, and he's about to put him down in a crossface. He has it locked, and nobody has gotten out of the crossface. At this point, Dan Lambert runs down to the ring, distracts the referee. Ethan Page comes in, hits Kazarian with the belt. Scorpio Sky falls on Kazarian because he didn't see what happened. And then right after they get up, Scorpio catches Kazarian with the TKO and ends the match. Then, after the match, he's celebrating. He's trying to pick up Kazarian to shake his hand, let him know they had a good match. And Kazarian's like, oh my God, the dude hit me with a belt. That guy came out there. Scorpio's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he looks at Ethan Page. Did you do it? Ethan Page says, yes, I did it. You got to pick a side. Are you with us or are you with him? Scorpio grabs the belt out of his hand. Looks like he's about to get into it with Ethan Page. Boom! Right upside the head of Frankie Kazarian. And then they beat up Frankie Kazarian. Sammy and Ty, who were in the crowd, came in with a chair to clear the ring. As Sammy was right, you should never trust Scorpio Sky. And Scorpio Sky's heel turn is complete. What do you think, sir? You said you saw that part.
Yes, I did see that closing part, and this just strikes me as confusing. I like the fact that they were leaning on, like, Scorpio kind of looking like he might be separating himself from Ethan Page and Dan Lambert. Because, again, like I said, at the end of the day, those two are heels. Like, all-out heels, like, that's just what they are. And to have, like, the little bit of, like, the fact that – I also like the fact that Frankie Kazarian lost by shenanigans, which I appreciate because I think Frankie is so good, and he's a guy that they could use consistently if they wanted to, and they probably should because he's really good. Like I said, first ever AEW Tag Team Champions for a reason. But the double turn that it seemed like they were trying to do with, like, Scorpio realigning himself with Dan Lambert and Ethan Page beating up Frankie, and then Sammy and Ty have to come in for the save. You do know people hate these two, right? Like, we were having Sammy go along with him being a dickhead. Like, we were going along with it, and, like, Frankie was going after Sammy for the right reasons too. Like, again, like that, we were seemingly on the same page, but this decision just strikes me as weird. Now, of course, like I said, like, I'm willing to see what happens out of this. I'm not going to go out here and be like, this is like they're being stupid or this is jumping the gun. Like, why are you doing this? You're being brain dead. You're not listening to the fans. It's like, this could easily turn into something else and just be very interesting and different. Like I said, it just struck me as odd and not the right choice, just from the beginning part of it, at least right now. If this means that Frankie gets more TV time, I'm cool with it because I love Frankie. I think he's great. But it just seems like, also I will say too, Sammy Guevara right now, since he's not in the inner circle at this point in time, and it seems like a really harsh thing to say, and I don't really like saying it, but like Sammy Guevara is like nothing on AEW without that TNT championship or being tied with it. Like, that's all he has at this point. But again, like I said, I want to see what comes out of this because it struck me as a really weird way to close out the show. So that's my thoughts on it. So I'll go to Floyd on it then.
I think they were just trying to redefine that Dan Lambert, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky were heels, and they're all the way heels. That's what they were trying to get. I think it was getting confusing. People were like, well, it's Scorpio face and they're heels. And no, they wanted to make that clear that they're heels. And Kazarian's a face, and Sammy and Ty are in between. You boo them or you cheer them. They are literally in the Cody and Brandy area. That's what they are. I don't think they're as over on that level as Cody and Brandy, but that's how they're being positioned. So that's where it is. I mean, they have a plan for this, and whether we end up liking it or hating it, they're gonna go through with the plan. And I do love that with storylines in AEW. They're gonna continue with the plan. They literally just recast. They recast Cody and Brandy.
That's pretty much what they did, yeah, because they were doing the whole thing with Cody being a babyface and then Brandy being the heel.
Yeah, so they just kind of recasted it right now. So we're gonna see where it goes from here, and it is what it is. I don't know. It's like one of those things. I like Scorpio Sky. I want him to have a nice long title run.
I do too.
I also like the TNT title, and I want that to be treated on the level that it's supposed to be treated. So, even if he's a heel, if he holds it for a while, before losing it, I'm down with that.
Yeah. Again, I'm interested to see again. Like I said, it just seemed like a really odd way to close out the show because.
Well,
it just like I said, I haven't seen the rest of the show, so I don't know how everything else felt like from my point of view, like how the rest of the show felt. But just in general, kind of weird. Not sure how I felt about it.
The roles were kind of clunky. They wanted to clarify what the roles were. I think that's all what it was about. Everybody was confused on who was on what side. Should we be booing Scorpio Sky? Should we be cheering Scorpio Sky? They made it clear at the end who you should be booing and cheering, even though you get to make up your own mind.
Right.
And I said, whether you liked it or not, but I understand. Like, for me, from a storytelling basis, I can understand. I can feel that's what they were doing. I might be completely off base and wrong, which I always leave open for. But it looks like, to me, through my eyes, that's what it looked like they were doing. Trying to, really define the roles of each wrestler.
All right, well, that was AEW Rampage, and the one last thing I'll comment on before we do our preview is that after the show in Long Island went off the air, MJF came back out to send the crowd home happy, the Long Island crowd home happy, and Punk comes out, continues to run down the Islanders, and MJF was like, I could kick your ass right now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. In fact, another Long Island boy is going to be the one that kicks your ass. And that's when Hook makes his way down to the ring. Punk is not wanting to deal with this. He rolls out, and Hook gets in the ring. He's like, fuck this. I'm out of here. This town can kiss my ass. Danhausen comes out, and he's starting to curse CM Punk, and he's like, what the fuck is going on, man? And he rolls his way back into the ring. He's all furious about Danhausen, and then he bumps his back into Hook, and he's just like, fuck. And then he's feeling behind him, and all of a sudden he's just like, oh shit. And he turns around, he's like, please, God, don't do it, please, and shake my hand. It's like, we're cool. Hook shakes his hand. He's like, yeah, fuck you. Me and Hook are cool, blah, blah, blah. Tries to turn around. Hook holds the grip, and he's like, fuck. He gets thrown up and thrown behind in a nice suplex, and then gets put in the red rum, and he's choked out, and then that's how they sent the fans home happy. And in a nice little callback for CM Punk fans, remember that steel cage match that CM Punk had a while ago on a SmackDown where he stayed knocked out in the ring until everybody left? He did it again. He was passed out, knocked out in the middle of the ring, and stayed that way, getting stretchered out at one point until everybody in that arena, in the UBS arena, was gone. I love that he did that again, because that was so fucking funny when he did that, and that picture was going around the internet. Love that as a CM Punk fan, that nice little callback. And I'm glad that Hook was the one that did that to him. And also to the people that are like, Punk is being buried. It's like, bro, this was off TV. Shut up. Like, shut up. It's like, this was a cool thing to send the fans home happy. And like, to say that this ruined Punk, like, you're just trying to get a rise out of people. Knock it off. But this was an awesome way to send the fans home happy. I wish I was in attendance for that moment, honestly.
I'm going to have a weird take on this. I really wish fans would stop posting this. I really do.
All right, fair.
I really wish fans would just enjoy this segment. It's for you. It's for the people in attendance. Maybe record it and watch it later, but stop posting it. This was for you. You know what I mean? If AEW wants to use it later, fine. But you're in the crowd. Just enjoy it. I know. I sound like an old man right now. Just enjoy the moment. But yeah, it just seems like posting these just cause more noise than is even necessary because it's what everybody's been doing for years. You know what I mean? You send their crowd home happy. This is not like a WWE thing. This is a wrestling thing. You send the crowd home happy. So it's just like, hey, just enjoy it. Sit there, be in the moment. Hey, record it. Just don't post it.
I get it. Again, yeah. I think it's just because we know that wrestling Twitter is going to have an overreaction to anything like this. Like, stuff like this that would get posted from house shows or whatever like this. Normally, like I said, it's a cool thing to see. But again, there are people that just take this shit a bit too seriously. Yeah. And they just freak the fuck out.
It's just something that's fun for the fans. And I just hate that people crap on it. So, like, I know, just like, don't post it. Just enjoy it. Just be in that moment. I know it's weird. I understand. I understand that belief. Yeah. Like I go to the Chappelle's show and you have to turn off your cell phones. If they see your cell phones on or whatever, they just kick you out, right? And it's just now
also too, like comedians. I'm actually going to see when we go to Vegas. Actually, when we get there, we're going to see Silk Sonic, aka Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, for those who are unfamiliar. And they actually have a straight up no phone policy. They have these like these weird technological bags or whatever the fuck that they give you. You have to put your phone in this bag, and the bags lock pretty much for the entire show unless you have a straight up emergency that you need to do, and they'll ask you to leave the venue to take whatever you need to do with your phone for the emergency. But you cannot use your phone. Like, it is like they make it so it is physically impossible for you to use your phone. You put them in these bags that will not open. Once you put them in there, of course, like again, you could sneak your phone out if you wanted to, but if they catch it, you're getting kicked out. So like, comedians are doing those, and now music is doing it. So yeah, I mean, like, I get it, dude. I get it.
Yeah.
But that is our AEW review of Dynamite and Rampage from this week, and we will go through real quick the preview for next week's Dynamite on the 18th. We're going to see Wardlow get his 10 lashes moment. We'll see how it stacks up with the Cody moment that we had years ago. We're going to have a face-to-face of Chris Jericho and Regal. That is going to be fun to watch. We're going to have Phoenix versus O'Reilly, Jeff Hardy versus Adam Cole, Samoa Joe versus the Joker, Dr. Britt Baker versus the Joker, and Hangman Adam Page versus Konosuke Takeshita with CM Punk on commentary. And I am looking at this match, this Dynamite, and it looks like it'll be a pretty damn good Dynamite.
Loaded, and this is one of the few times.
It looks like a pretty good Dynamite.
We never have a whole show to talk about on Fridays when we do it. That's a whole show. That's
it is.
Do you see them adding another segment to that?
I don't know, honestly.
Yeah, that's a lot. They got a lot packed in. So I think that's the full show. We might get one more match or something, or a segment, because I imagine they got to deal with the Ricky Starks and Swerve Strickland in a tag team title situation. I'm looking forward to that. But I am really looking forward to that show. That's going to be amazing. It is literally the last Dynamite before we're in Las Vegas. So that's going to be fun. And it's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it going first. And I'm looking forward to being in the building, because I was in the building. Me and Austin were in the building the night CM Punk returned. We are going to complete it. We're going to complete the Punk tour by being in there the night in Las Vegas where CM Punk wins and vanquishes the Hangman. It's going to be great.
You can't deny it. At this point, you can't deny it. And if you do still feel the need to deny it, yeah.
Yeah, CM Punk's going to wear pink and black, and then FTR is going to wear pink and black, and they're going to come out and all hug. And it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a night. And we're going to have Bret Hart. We're going to have Bret Hart present the title to CM Punk.
There you go. Masturbatory Bret Hart.
That Bret Hart debuted the AEW World Title at Double or Nothing when AEW back debuted in 2019, and now he's going to be back to give CM Punk the title when he beats that coward piece of shit.
And then it's going
to be amazing.
He's going to make the masturbation motion at Hangman. Boom. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
But I think that's going to fully do it, though, for this episode of All Things Elite. Of course, the only real headline that we have is that this will be the 3-year anniversary of Double or Nothing taking place in Vegas once again, instead of being at the Daily's place where it was last year. But I think that'll wrap it up, though. Don't you think, Floyd?
That is it. I mean, that's it for the show. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Make sure you're following the @AT Elite Pod Twitter account. I am really going to try to be more active on it. I'm going to do my best.
Especially since he's getting responses and retweets like motherfucker.
Yes.
Like, Jesus Christ, man. You're getting so many tweets.
Yes, and our boy, a friend of the show, Mr. Sam B, put out a tweet that Tony Khan himself replied to this week. So that was kind of crazy. His tweet, it was like he loved how AEW used the jobber entrance to throw off people in Danhausen versus Tony Nese. Tony Khan replied, and he said, "I'm something of a scientist myself." Replied directly to Mr. Sam B, whose tweet, if you could imagine, blowed up. Blowed all the way up. And you make sure you're following at Sir_Samuel on Twitter. I love this man. The AEW Match Guide is like my favorite show, like one of the shows that one of my weekly listens to, because it just takes you through the history of AEW. I was actually a guest host on one for Young Bucks versus FTR, if you want to go ahead and find that episode. But yeah, I just really wanted to give a shout out to our boy Sir Sam. And again, as we get close to Forbidden Door, make sure you're listening to Keeping It Strong Style on the shows for Suplex, so Jeremy Donovan and the young boy Josh Smith can get you ready for the Forbidden Door. Me and Austin going to be in attendance. I believe the young boys trying to make it happen. I believe there's going to be a crossover show. I believe we'll be able to give more details on that. I am just looking forward to everything that we have available for the next 2 months. I'm going to be at AEW. The last of this, I have this crazy tour of shows, and the last one is visiting my boy Austin and his sister Sydney in Detroit.
Let's go.
In Detroit, because I said I would be at AEW's first show in Detroit, so I am looking forward to it. But I have to go. Thank y'all for listening. I will leave you as I always leave you, whether it is home, work, or school. Always do your best to be elite.
You made it. Here. Finally. Checked out of office to check into the sweet views of that place you've always wanted to go. You know the one. It's nice. Even the kids like it.
This place is so cool.
And they never like it.
Mom, can we go to the pool?
Look at that. Not even asking for the Wi-Fi. When you're with Amex, it's not if it's going to happen, but when. American Express. Don't live life without it.
Introducing Under Armour's Infinity High Sports Bra. Its ergonomic design is molded to support the natural movement of your body. With cord-out padding, the better breathability eliminates extra bulk without sacrificing support. And quick-dry padding is Under Armour's fastest-drying padding yet. When you're lifting heavy, running fast, and pushing yourself further than ever before, you need a bra that will help you go that extra mile and make you feel your best. Shop the Infinity High Sports Bra now at UA.com.